You thread your way through the trees of the Schomburg forest, tracing your way back to the thicket where you and Glory hid the van. The inferno that consumed Fierstel is spreading, and the conflagration casts the forest around you in a sinister orange light. The heat at your back is intense, unbearable. Far ahead, Glory blazes a trail for you to follow, shredding the foliage in her path. The liberated initiates teeter on the edge of panic as they struggle to keep pace behind you. The fire is moving fast, but you're faster. As Glory helps the last of the kids into the van, you put the vehicle in gear and punch the accelerator. The burning ruin of the Fierstel recedes into the distance, a glowing speck in the rearview mirror. The peace and safety of the cruise bazaar lie ahead. Woohoo! Alright, let's see what Glory has to say. Glory stands, an introspective look on her face. At the sound of your approach, she turns to face you. She nods at you. Thank you for your help at Fierstel. I couldn't have done it without you. Speaking of which, I've been meaning to talk with you about that. After the things we saw in there, I'm not surprised. Go ahead, Afer. I'm listening. What did you wind up doing with the cultists that we rescued? Did you send them to Samuel? No, he doesn't have to worry about keeping the people of the cruise bazaar safe. The kids that we rescued, they've been damaged by Harrow's philosophies. They can get better, but they're going to take time. Trying to integrate them into our society too quickly would be disastrous. So where did they go? I took them to the talismonger, Algernon. He said that he knew a place where they could get help. It won't be easy for them or quick, but they'll get better in time. You looked distraught when Marta died. How are you holding up? Her expression clouds. As well as can be expected, my feelings of this are complicated. You loved her, that much is pretty clear. Yes, a part of me still loved her, and the rest hated her for what she represented. Am I ultimately sorry that she's dead? Yes, but I'm not sure what the alternative would have been. Maybe if the circumstances were different, you could have found some common ground. Maybe, maybe not. Regardless, Marta was damaged goods. I can't even imagine the amount of psychological trauma that she'd be carrying if she were alive today. It'd take her years to recover, and in that time, she'd still be dangerous. All in all, it was probably better that things turned out the way they did. That's what I keep telling myself, anyway. Harrow got away, just like you said he would. She frowns. Yes, and he's already putting distance between himself and the Schomburg forest. How do you want to go about tracking him? Finding Harrow's going to be a full-time job. I can't track him down while we still have a great dragon hanging over our heads. After we've dealt with Beauclair and the Firewing, I'll devote myself wholeheartedly to finding that bastard and finishing this. But for now, we need to keep our eyes on the road ahead. That answers all of my questions. Thanks for taking the time to talk. Anytime, Afer, and thanks again. I mean that. Achievement unlocked. Moving on. Oh. Okay, what next to do? Sit. He sits. Play dead. He seems he doesn't know that one. Pet him. Oof. A complete lack of money! Alright, let's meet with Iger's contact. I want to help everyone out as much as possible. This happens every single time. I'm too fucking nice for my own good. There we go. Let's talk to Bannock. This dwarf has a distinctly Eurasian appearance. He peers up at Iger through almond-shaped eyes. The rest of his broad face is dominated by strong Slavic features. He nods to himself and pulls down his mug of soy calf. On the edge, on the table, a plate of day-old pie cools in a haze of cigarette smoke. Hoi, Iger, been a long time. He taps a thumb on the rim of his coffee cup. Keeping busy? You could say that. Afer, this is Bannock. He's a friend. The Dwarf scoffs. Don't know if I'd go that far. Nothing personally, I understand. If I were to start keeping friends, I might call you one. But in my experience, friendship and obligation go hand in hand. A solitary life is cleaner. She smiles. Professional acquaintance, then. The dwarf nods. Better. Now let's get down to business, shall we? Let's. We need intel on the engineer. Where he's staying, who he's working for, how long he's been in Shotnest. Whatever you've got, we want it. He spears a hunk of pie with his fork, crams it into his mouth, and starts to chew. A moment later, he shrugs. I've had worse, and of course, I'll give you what I can, but I don't know much. I can point you in the right direction, that's all. Just tell us what you can, we'll handle the heavy lifting. The dwarf nods, then fumbles in his jacket pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a weathered paper map and spreads it on the table. All right, what you're looking at is the northwest quadrant of Shotnest. This is gang territory, all of it. These days, the whole Keys is being held by Rambok. I've had a run-in with Rambok before. We can handle them. Wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. The guy that filled the power vacuum when their last leader bit it is a real piece of work. But hey, maybe you're right. I hope so, for your sake. He stabs a meaty finger down in the faded silhouette of a building. This warehouse right here is Rambok HQ, and that's where the engineer is staying. Wonderful. Iger exhales heavily. If he's staying there, he must be arranging some sort of deal with them. That'd be the safe bet. And they haven't pulled their guns on him yet, so it's fair to assume that negotiations are going well. I'm sure that I don't have to tell you this, but the last thing we need is an alliance between some foreign syndicate and the Rambok. No good can come of that. Can't argue with that. Now, I can't tell you who the engineer is working for. You'll have to ask him about that yourself. But what I can do is make it easier for you to have a sit-down with him. Bannock reaches under the table and brings up a canvas bag. He places it in front of you and pushes it forward. Don't open that in here. There are people in this room who would kill you for what's in that bag. You going to tell us what it is, or do we have to guess? He lowers his voice in a soft whisper. You have to lean in to hear him carefully. What you're going to find in there is a gadget about the size of a water pistol. It has a rubberized grip and a hair trigger and is good for one shot. Is it a stun gun? No. He pauses for a moment, playing with his fork. Well, not really. For your purposes, you might as well think of it as one, though. The object in question is a cyberware deactivator. I had it shipped here at great personal expense from a supermax prison in the UCAS. He traces a twirl in the air with a fork. The warden owed me a favor. Iger whispers appreciatively. Very nice, Bannock. This should make this easy. Not easy. Possible. I wouldn't be giving it to you if the job could be done without it. The engineer is rocking a Delta-grade move-by-wire system. Unless you can shut it down, there's no way in how you're going to catch him. And if we do shut it down, he'll be forced into a state of permanent seizure. He shrugs. Only until he gets the thing up and running again. Deactivated isn't the same thing as broken. The dwarf shovels another heaping forkful of pie into his mouth. He chews thoughtfully. Until then, his life will be a living hell, but I can think of worse things to use as a bargaining chip. Remember, you need to know who he works for. The more you can take him out of his comfort zone, the better. That's handy. Making people uncomfortable is my specialty. Sounds like we have a plan. Iger nods. Sounds that way. Thanks, Bannock. We'll let you know how things work out. I guess I'll replace one of these. Don't bother. I'll be watching. That's great. Shotnest. The key is next door to the crew's bazaar and an object lesson in anarchy gone wrong. Violent gangs rule the streets here, trading territory to the roar of gunfire. The streets are a war zone. As dangerous as Shotnest already is, it could be worse. The gangs are vicious but disorganized. They pose little risk to their neighbors. With little more than a makeshift barricade and a few volunteers, the crew's bazaar has successfully insulated itself from the chaos of its neighboring kias. The engineer could change all of that. He has to be stopped, and the F-state as a whole needs to be alerted to what his clients are trying to do. It's up to you and Iger to make sure that happens. As you near the edge of the crew's bazaar, the familiar piss and asphalt stench of Shotnest crawls into your nostrils and sticks to the back of your throat. The dilapidated husks of burnt-out buildings loom above you, giving the place an air of menace. I was hoping I'd put this place behind me after the Humanist run. Yeah, I'm with you there, she wrinkles her nose. The funny thing is, a syndicate president might actually help Shotnest, in the short term at least. They clean up the streets if nothing else. And don't tell me you're changing your mind. Not for a second. A syndicate, any syndicate, in Shotnest would be a disaster for the crew's bazaar. Let's let the people on the other side of the gate deal with their own problems. I won't allow my home to be endangered for their sake. A little rude. Oh, it's the gatekeepers again. You again? Well, you done my warning last time, and you ain't dead, so I guess you can handle yourself. He sighs. Let him through, Sergei. There's a hole. Piper, what do you want? The cardboard box is filled with makeshift bedding. A homeless person might be using it to keep warm at night. Search the box. You find a basic, uncertified credit stick underneath the pillow. Mine now. Sorry, homeless person. I need that 59 new yen. Roundabout gang up ahead. Maybe there's a way around? I'm not sure where I need to go. A man. What? What do you want? Just looking for some information. I bet you are. I've seen your type before. You're probably looking for someone or looking for something that's been stolen. Either way, the Rambach won't be happy that you're sticking your nose in the shot nest. I'm new in town. What's hot around here? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. All there is to do in shot nest is get your ass beat by gangs until you decide to join one. Why don't you move? There are safer keys not far from here. That takes money. Rent ain't free unless you're suggesting I start living on the street. At least here I have a roof over my head. Hi, lady. I got pots and pans. You need pots and pans? No, but some info would be nice. You see any new friends of the Rambox show up lately? Yeah, sure I have. What's it to ya? Hand over 50 new yen. Just trying to help out in the neighborhood. She leans in for a whisper. They're just down the street in the warehouse with the grass in front. New guy showed up a few days ago. Seems like a bigwig. They've been moving product through there ever since. What kind of product? That'd cost you extra, sweetie. Is it important? Hand over 25 new yen. Drugs, guns, the usual. Seems like more drugs than guns lately, so maybe things will pick up around here. Thanks. No problem, honey. I got the best deals on pots and pans this side of Spandau. Motorcycle. The engine's still warm, colors on the tail clearly marked as Rambach property. The warehouse door is windowless slab of reinforced densoplast. A keyboard entry system sits to one side. Got any ideas, Iger? Looks secure. She examines the heavy door, scowling. I'm able to blast it open with a controlled explosive that'd spook anyone inside. Probably best we could just find the code. But what would the code be? And how would I find it? He's got nothing to say. Best not to get close to these guys. No, there's nothing here. Okay. I don't think it's supposed to do that. The buttons on the keyboard are badly worn, and a wad of chewing gum has been plastered over part of the flickering screen. I mean, there has to be some way to figure out what the code is if you're not a decker. Okay, I'm gonna hit. Nice try. It said missed, but I mean, it still worked. How are you able to shoot through the whole building? That's not fair. Don't go healing yourself, that's rude. Oh, come on. Really, both? And she missed. Still kind of affected them, so... Hooray. I was kind of hoping that if I, like, came in here, I would find something that I could use. But apparently not. The warehouse you told me about is locked up with a key code panel. You know anything about that? Sure, I can help you out there for a price. I can deal with that. 500, no less. I've got to make a living, you know. Am I good for that? Oh, barely. The code is 292 something. I don't know the last number. That'll get you most of the way, though. Enjoy. You don't even know the whole thing? I'm not going near that place. Good luck. What was it? Well, that's helpful. It doesn't say what the rest of it is. Well, it's 292. There we go. In there, that's our man. That one. What happened to not spooking anyone? And that's why we didn't want to blow it shit up. Are you serious? Ow. There he goes. Come on. Fuck you. I love when it says missed, but it still does exactly what it's supposed to do. Like, what are you talking about? Or is it just like the fucking UI is just really bad? Yeah, we're gonna go this way, I think. Ow. Fuck you, mage man. My girl also says fuck you. Oh, really, you're going first, because you need to heal. I would like you to die faster. Ow. Ugh, of course. Please, I just want you to be dead. I think that's where I need to go. Yeah, I don't think there's anything over there that I need. I don't see anything else I can interact with. Oh, come on! Seriously, how far along is he gonna run? This is actually just really fucking annoying. Seriously, how far is he going? Like, how long does this go on for? Because I can't catch up to him. I would have fucking loved to, but I couldn't hit him because he was too fucking far away. What do they want me to do? I can't hit him when he's not in my line of sight and he's too far away. Or am I like gonna mystically be able to hit him from back here? Yeah, I don't have the AP. Do I have a way? There. Maybe the lack of AP will help me. Okay, can I hit him with it now? Again, not enough AP. There. Nice attempt to run away. There. Now to clear the area. Okay. I mean, you tried. Oh, come on! There. Help me drag this guy back to the warehouse. We're gonna find out what he knows.